Well, the final testament of Sir John, it's here on State of Play. All of you have had your say about the Sir John matter with the Achimota Forest and et cetera, et cetera. Well, let's see what the verdict is from our end also. And I know many of you are joining us right now, wondering what really is happening. You know what is happening. The will as it is, it tells us a lot about, Sir John's wealth. Elsewhere, Raymond, we should probably know what his net worth is. But I mean, we can get a fair idea what it is. This man is a millionaire.
Yes, by all standards and qualifications. I mean, 11 allocations of houses, land 12 allocations, private vehicles 13 of them. No, I'm not saying individual cars. So allocations. Some got more than just one. Some got way bigger buildings. So I'm putting together in terms of allocations. Private vehicles 13, bank accounts 8 of them, investments 6 of them, hospital 1, other businesses 6 of them, exempt guns and those other things.
Yeah.
This is the perfect qualification for a man that's a millionaire. Assuming any of these 11 houses, each of them is just 100, not even 100. Let's say $150,000 or $100,000. We are talking about 1.1 million.
That's
US
a lot.
dollars. Yeah. 11 houses. Some of them are huge apartments in any way.
Yeah.
So it should tell you the entire story you're talking about here. And of course, I mean, the man was a lawyer for some time. He actually joined government. He has been the MPP for some time. He actually became general secretary of the party after trying. People don't know that Sir John is popular in Kumasi because he was a lawyer for many people. He helped with so many cases. And Sir John's classmates in law school are the likes of the Supreme Court Judge Bafu Boni, and also his classmates are Edward Juadonten. I remember in the 70s, they were very together in student politics and did a lot of this work together too. So this is what the man has done for himself. The part when you hear about he gathering most of these resources within the period we're talking about, that is the period of getting into office after 2016. Let's not forget, he's worked at GMPC too before. He was not so prominent in the Kufuor government because one of Kufuor's main people, Antonio Osakuto, he contested him in Tafo consistently and lost to him on several occasions. The belief was that if Sir John was leaving, if Osakuto was leaving Parliament, the perfect replacement would have been Sir John. But I'm sure they all checked out of politics at the constituency level along the line. So fast forward, this is a man of such a profile. Is it warranted? And I'm sure many people would have cared about what was on his well, but for the connections with Achimota, for the fact that the man was the Forestry Commission CEO, those are the things that actually brought in the red lights.
It is a conflict of interest question, right?
That's so amazingly.
So let's trace this back a bit more, and we are learning a bit more. Listen, one of the key things that you haven't heard anywhere else, and State of Play, we can say that, is we are setting from all the documents that we've seen that multiple countless individuals have interest in what we are talking about.
That's true.
In the lands of Achimota Forest lands.
Yeah.
The powerful in this country, a lot of them have interest. You cannot imagine
the kind of people that ordinarily you think are not connected, are not from there, are not in the old family, have no such relations at all. People that ordinarily you want to resort to and say that this guy removed
Dora's box.
Yeah.
That has now been opened. Look, today, this morning, I kept on, this particular call started coming through early morning. And I was just wondering, I don't pick calls in the morning, except when I don't know you. Then I don't know so I picked the next one. He said, he introduced himself. He said, a very powerful chief in Greater Accra wants to talk to me about the Achimota Forest, and that he and his family too are the rightful owners of the place. And all of a sudden, I was not interested, right? And I said, okay, I mean, then, because he's a powerful chief, I was expecting that I will get a guy to call me right. They say, the chief mentions some big title, and you call me. He's a very popular chief. He call me right, and I said, no, I'm busy. 11 o'clock, He was surprised, when you're close to power, you think everybody else must.
You have to pander to whatever you say.
So I said, they said, okay, let me write. I didn't intend to. Then another man was calling, so eventually I picked around 11:30. And then I realized, introduced himself as this powerful, chief in Accra. And then he says, yeah, he's interested in the land, the kind of the documents. He has documents. He wants some of the documents, that kind of thing. He wants to, like, I know a colleague who is better placed to hear you out.
Yes.
I honestly don't want to. The point I want to make with this is, since the story broke, the story didn't break with Sir John.
Yeah.
It broke with the Gazetting.
Which would that mean an anonymous?
Yeah, I mean, it was supposed to be a big deal.
Not even of news value anyway.
Yeah, I mean, nothing. The sheer number of powerful people reaching out to, we've had people calling.
So many.
People reach out who have interest. And sometimes it's not obvious.
Yeah, so they act like they are genuinely just going to contribute to the conversation.
Exactly.
They're just part of the quest to educate people or give you information about it.
Yeah.
But if you dig deeper, their hands are all, in fact, both hands are deep into this particular pie.
And it tells you how big this is. And that is why, and yesterday, Martin Kpebo on my show said, and I agree with him, I like the minister's approach because he says they're going to look into the lands as relating to the past and the present. And I think that they should do that because me and you tracked this thing, right? From 1920?
1921.
27, comes to the 2000s and before. Now, one thing I need to say about the Wu family, they are an amazing family. The tenacity.
Very powerful family.
The tenacity. They have petitioned every single government
in the Fourth
Republic. Right? But the thing that also surprises me is they've also petitioned almost every single Lands and Natural Resources minister.
That's true.
In the same government.
Yeah.
So almost always, they appear to petition anytime a minister, say in the same government, is changed. They will petition
go back to the next minister.
I mean, that amazes me.
It tells you why sometimes just after 2 or 3 years, a new minister is ordering fresh inquiry, fresh committee work, fresh investigation into the matters.
And so even under this government, the first Lands and Natural Resources Minister was Amewu.
Yeah.
They petitioned him.
That's
it got something to do with it. Second is Chairman.
Yeah, Asma Chairman.
Asma Chairman. A petition.
Yeah.
John Jinapo had petitioned.
Yeah.
Go back to John Mahama. They petitioned the
Mike Hammer. Yeah.
They petitioned
Inus
Hussein. In fact, last 2 weeks we spoke to Neo Samuels.
That's true.
Who also in 2016 was also petitioned.
That's true.
In fact, he was the minister who launched the Eco Park, thing.
The Eco-Tourism Park.
Also got petitioned. Same government. And they are very determined. And each time they petition, as we're now learning, their acreage changes.
Yeah. And it's almost as if we care so much about that family, we cannot offend them. We can only make their lives better. We can only give them a very wonderful sweetheart deal. We can only improve the conditions under which we engage them. Today, there are so many other families that have been interested in either getting their lands back or are in court with government or government agencies for one land or the other. Several other petitions have also been filed. This is indeed a very wonderful family by all standards and qualifications. To the extent that, you see, across political lines, so it doesn't matter be it MPP or NDC, and mostly it matters in this country. Some families and family heads and certain people are only powerful during a certain government's time. Others do not receive the same favor. But this family seems to have been so much favored.
They had favor
across the board
of all the government. They had favor with Kufuor.
Yeah.
They had favor with Mills.
Yeah.
They had favor with John Mahama. They had favor with Nana-Addo. I mean, there must be something there, right?
Very special unit of people.
And you know, when the Achimota Forest story broke, the main reason that it became a big story instantly was the suspicion by ordinary Ghanaians, the speculation, unfounded allegation that this has been degazetted so that possibly the politicians will grab the land. That was a suspicion.
Yeah.
In fact, I remember you on one show asking that question, and the minister was forthright that would be conflict of interest. He would allow that to happen.
In fact, he said he would never be interested in purchasing any.
Yeah, and by the way, to be fair to him, he had issued a statement saying in the Sir John matter that he won't the lands that he's acquired void.
Yeah.
I mean, it won't pass to beneficiaries. They're going to look at past and present. But my point is, that was the suspicion. And then Sunday evening, they will.
Just when the matter was settling, almost becoming okay. Well, what's the big deal anyway?
Yeah.
Let's see what happens.
Because we've done a week of it.
Yes.
I mean, it was almost dead. And then Sir John's will popped up. That immediately confirmed the original suspicion that made the story big. In fact, the story would have been a big as it was if people didn't think we don't trust politicians.
Generally.
Period.
Yeah.
So anything that a politician has to do in this country, the first point is to say, I don't trust it. Right? And then Sir John pops up, and I'm like, oh my God, this is the big headache for the government. Because this is a confirmation of everything else that social media, Twitter,
and all the suspicions.
All the suspicions have been.
In fact, you do recall, right? So first, the first things you saw on social media, and some people actually got flagged for it. Oh, Achimota land sold. Then the rebuttal was so strong, then you can look in the face of the people and say, but no, what basis did you make this claim about the land being sold? So just when it sounded like it was mere rumor, you cannot take it serious, people were just raising usual noise about it without having any basis for their claims they're making, then Sir John comes in. Now, at that point, you clearly cannot just dismiss the sold element because you're not sure. You're not sure how much of the Sir Johns are hanging around this land. And let's put it in this perspective. We are talking about 1,444
acres.
More than 1,444 plots. So if you are sharing plots, every single worker of this company, about 600 or 700, will get a plot. Some will get 2 or even 3. So what we get that? We call a small village. The number we consider a small village is 500 people. We are talking here about almost 3 villages. In one. That's the number of plots that we are dealing with under the various circumstance. And what's the area we are talking about? And you perceive it in your mind. If one of these plots, comparable areas, airport also, it's almost $200,000, $300,000. You can now look at the scale of the amount of money involved and why this is so important. And if you eliminate the ones that we deal with Sir John aside, assuming we had the competence and capability to go and do this and say, everybody should bring their indenture and let's see how much you own of that particular piece of land. You see the number of names that will come up. At least assuming that everybody owns, let's say, 5 or 4. We are still dealing with at least 200 or 300 people who are completely interested in the area you're talking about. Of those, you can ask yourself a simple question. How many of them will be politicians?
Yeah.
How many will be politically exposed persons and people connected to them? Because what this has taught me is that on the face of it, you might not see the name of a politician.
And then Sir John's will.
Yeah, it could be a company. It could be another entity. It could be a different person. It could be an innocuous person, a woman of no connection at all, or just a worker in the company, or even members of that wonderful Forestry Commission.
Yeah.
You can take out the guards.
And by the way, the only time in the will, as far as the Forest Commission is concerned, that the company wasn't mentioned as owning the Sir John land was when he says he jointly owns with Charles Owusu.
Yeah.
To make your point, Charles Owusu also worked
at the Forestry
Commission.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He resigned, but he used to work there. He's alive.
That's true.
He's alive. Questions. He was on Asempa, denying any knowledge of the thing. But when they asked the question about, is he the same Charles Owusu? They said, oh, there are plenty of Charles Owusu in Ghana.
And that is under investigation. He's waiting for a report to come out. In any case, today the report is out from the ministry. Is he now going to come and tell us that I am indeed a person, I own the land legitimately? Because, Evans, if you own this land legitimately, let nobody dismiss the point that you would fight for it. We know how many times people have been in court in the East Legon lands and the other places. Yeah. For years, for decades, they are fighting for their family lands. If you own the land legitimately, Charles Owusu's position will not be, well, I don't know about it. If he went and bought the land, it was given as a gift legitimately. If I actually gone through the processes to acquire it, like it's expected of every other Ghanaian in the acquisition of any property, his posturing will not be let investigations reveal that. Now, because you would have documentation to back it.
Yeah.
You will be a legitimate owner of the thing. But I mean, I'm not even considering the possible issues they have raised in the other field. And I'm also willing to cut him the slack. It could be he's not the one.
It could be.
But the posturing, it's not, if I'm not the one, and my name is being used for anything like that, I'll just come out boldly and say that, please, I beg you.
Or it could be that, Sir John use his name jointly to own the thing without his knowledge?
He would disclaim that. Because it's easy to say that.
You know?
Yeah, it's easy to say that.
And
See, I respect the man.
Especially when the man is dead, yeah.
I respect the man.
Yeah.
But I have no knowledge of such an activity.
Dead men don't
You
talk.
would not want anybody dragging your name into this particular matter.
But here's why it will be difficult. On the indenture,
Yeah.
they will jointly sign.
That's true.
So there will be Sir John's signature.
Yeah.
There will be the original owners who are leasing the land to
Yeah.
use signature, and there will be his signature, right? So it will be there, unless he says the signature was forged. But you raised an important point, and this comes back to whether or not the minister has said that the title, the lands will not pass to beneficiaries, right? And I hear people say, but he can't do that because legally, if the land has been given to the Owu
family.
and the Owu family,
And a gazette supports that particular thing.
yeah,
And the gazette is an executive instrument of the state. In fact, the executive instrument is very clear. The question being asked here is that can the minister, through a statement, revoke, amend, or review the gazette to take part of land belonging to Owu family, regardless of who they have given it to? Because now we know for a fact.
No.
We know for a fact that the Owu family has given part of the lands to people.
No, so the Gazette was not to formalize the handover to Owu. The Gazette was to declassify it as a forest.
Yes.
That's all, right?
Yeah.
So that's different. There are two different things, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, so there is the Owu family giving off the Owu family land, but the Gazette is simply to say you already have the land, but you can't do anything on that land because it's a forest.
Very good.
So we are declassifying it as a forest reserve so that you can go ahead and develop it.
I get you.
So my point is that Sir John and anybody else who own property there, as of today, could not have a title, could not have realistically secured a title for any of the Achimota forest lands.
At least that's what we are told so far.
At least because if you had gone to the Forestry Commission before the degazetting to attempt to register that land, the Forestry Commission, the Lands Commission would not have registered it for you, given the title, because it is a forest reserve. So they would not have registered it for the land for you. It is a reason why there's a suggestion that in a minister's statement that when you do a check at the Lands Commission, there is no title in the name of Sir John on these companies, right? Yeah. Because that is a fact. I mean,
but they couldn't register.
They couldn't have registered it. But now that has been degazetted,
they can proceed to
register because the land is no longer a forest reserve. Okay. Now, the other point that this makes is about the question that people have asked: can a minister take the land from me? So, assuming that the Owu family sublet, is that what you call it?
Yeah.
Sublet the portion of the land to Sir John, or Sir John bought it from, took it from them after they got it. Can the minister take it from him? Because that would have been legitimate handover to the man, right?
Yeah.
My argument is that he can't, because on the basis of conflict of interest, on the basis of possibly abuse of office, on the basis of possibly using public office for private gain, on all these three counts.
But to establish these, he would have to go through a judicial process.
Yeah, I get it.
He cannot so moto get up and say that I'm going to do so because I think these things have happened. These are things that are established to, of course. I mean, if they are established that this what happened.
No, but I think in this matter, the only thing really need to establish is the will authentic.
Yeah.
If the will is authentic, and the former Forestry Commission CEO has several plots of land, both in his name and the kingdom of his company, and he's willing it out, on the face of that alone, he's in conflict. No matter how he got it, even if the Owu family gave it to him.
Even if you waive the conflict, you can waive conflict.
As in?
Make a declaration. Make an official. So I did not participate in any of the things related to this land. It was given to me or given to the company without me participating in it.
How?
There are exceptions to conflict of interest.
I get it. Except that in those exceptions, it will be difficult
to justify that the various
under the circumstances, right? Because so if you're in conflict, you declare, you stay away, and you don't touch it,
because
right? But how do you? How? Okay, so you can say
I jump from Achimota to Ramsar,
so he can say that his companies
Yeah.
His companies.
When they
He didn't
applied,
have anything to the company.
Yeah.
The companies apply. He didn't know anything
Yeah.
about his companies
he had
applying.
at all times detached himself from the process. Yeah.
But what about the one that he personally owned with Charles Owusu?
That's where it becomes a bit murky and a bit problematic. Actually, yes.
Yeah. So what about the one that he personally owns with Charles? How did he take himself out of the conflict situation in that?
Yeah.
For the company, you can realistically say
At the height of this, if it's proven to be true, it's also the Ramsar thing. I mean, for a man to go and stand on the ground and say no, nobody.
Yeah,
if you got the land for free,
that's another one.
go and take back your money, or you're fine. If you pay somebody for this land, we are taking back the land. Then the man owns land there at a place he's telling everybody.
Yeah.
This place is no go area for you.
Yeah.
It's the height of it for me. I mean, if it's true that this really what happened.
Yeah.
Because it tells a very opposite story. You just sack people just like
doesn't fraud vitiate all?
Yes.
And if it's established that
It's fraud, yeah.
I mean, crime too should vitiate all, right? I mean,
if it's fraud.
So if it's established that indeed, he abused his office, he used his office for private gain, he was in conflict of interest, and all that, then it should mean ab initio he can't own that property.
I get your point.
And the second, I get your point about going through the legal
process. Yeah.
But here's the thing we haven't talked about enough. The family has a big say in this matter.
Yeah.
Right?
In fact, they could have helped all of us by coming out and say that no, sorry, we gave lands legitimately to the man. We gave it to him without even he being connected to
the whole family.
Yes, they can say that nicely.
Yeah.
They can say that and maybe put to rest some of the conversation around it.
Even still will raise issues, right? Remember that the forest reserve, the Chimoda Forest Reserve, it is in the custody, not custody. The Forestry Commission.
Yeah.
They hold that in trust.
Yes.
For all of us. So the title, it is how do I even put it? The Forestry Commission, all the forests in this country are under the direct purview of the Forestry Commission.
Yeah.
They have the final say on what happens there.
Yeah. In fact, even the minister wants to act, they have to advise the minister.
Yeah. Without
you remember the very final actions on the land.
Yes.
They were once went to site, draw a site plan, and all of that.
Absolutely.
And they determined that no, this acreage was enough.
Absolutely.
At all times, you saw that going through the process.
And if you look at the history of the acreage and the petitions, is the Forestry Commission has always been the first port of call for any of the committees, either Kufuor, Mills, JM, Nanado. They were always the first. And here's the thing that people don't know about this. Do you know that in 2018, under Sir John, the Forestry Commission entered into negotiations.
That's true, with the family.
With the whole family.
Yeah.
Over how to compensate them for taking away the place that was used for nursery.
The nursery and the seismology. Yes, yeah.
And they said, whole family said, if you're taking that away from
that's prime land.
That John Mahama has given to us already.
Yeah.
And we were already also giving it out to people. You're going to cause a lot of pain.
It is also important for you to note that it is this same Forestry Commission that when it was asked to release 118, it proceeded to release 148 with 3 different leases.
In 2013.
Yes. So at all points in time, it's been perhaps the most instrumental of the very groupies in there. And I get you. That's why if you lead that institution, the tendency for you to be in a conflicting position, because you seem to be very lenient in the engagement with the grouping, will be questioned.
Absolutely.
And that's the more reason why your actions should be above board. You should be completely detached from any ownership, even if you have intentions of getting in the future.
Yeah. I mean, and by the way, again, Raymond, something just struck me. When it comes to the history that me and you have studied over this, right? It appears to me the only time that there was a direct negotiation between the Owu family and the Forest Commission was under Sir John.
Yeah.
Because if you go to Mel, if you go to Akufo first, it was the negotiation was between the minister.
Petition to the minister.
It was between the minister and the Owu family.
That's true.
Obviously, the minister would have sought Forestry Commission advice but the minister was the lead.
Yeah.
If you come to Mills, it was Mike Hammer
first,
and then Mike Hammer brought in Afai Date, who also was Forestry Commission board. But it was
still under the minister who signed off.
Right. If you go to Inusa, Inusa took the lead.
That's true.
Right? Again, of course.
If I insisted, I wrote the letters with all of those.
Exactly. the only time in the history that I've seen that it is said that the only two parties at the table were Forestry Commission
and the family
OWU was in 2018. Was it 2018?
Yes, it's for 2018.
2018. That Sir John was a CEO.
And that's where we are talking about some 300. In fact, that's where we jumped to the 300.
Yes, that's where we jumped to the 300s. And for me, that raises a very, very big. That was the only time the two parties sat alone without a minister involved to negotiate, as the documents show, was when Sir John was there and the whole family. It was then that they advised.
Yeah, that specific action to be done.
And I think Treme, was it Treme?
Yeah. Yes, it was Treme that was advised.
Was it Treme or was it
this was in 2020.
Okay,
so Amawu had left before 2020.
Yeah. So it was that time that they. So that for me is one of the areas that we need to look at.
It sends a signal, even if we are likely to think that everything that the Forestry Commission boss at the same Sir John did was right and was above. It's problematic to think that when you were in direct negotiation with the people, you ended up getting lands there.
Okay.
Every level of it.
I have some breaking news. I have some breaking news on this, by the way, just coming in. I just received a document from a press release.
Okay.
Titled Minister for Lands and Natural Resources Request for Information on All Transactions Affecting the Achimota Forest. So this is breaking news, people, on State of Play. And it says, the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Honorable A. Jinapo MP, has today, Thursday 26th, requested for information on all transactions affecting the 1,185, the acreage you mentioned, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Acres of land acquired by the state in 1927 and constituted a forest reserve in 1930 under the name Achimota Firewood Plantation Forest Reserve. The request follows an earlier statement by the minister to act on any improper acquisition of public lands, including the Achimota forest lands, regardless of how they were acquired, whether now or in the past. In the letter addressed to the Chief Executive Officer of the Forestry Commission, the minister has asked the commission to submit to his office within 1 week all leases granted by the Forestry Commission over the 1,185 acres of land and any amendment or variations to those leases, as well as any sublease or assignment granted over any part of the land. In a separate letter addressed to the Executive Secretary of the Lands Commission, the minister has requested for information on all transactions affecting the land acquired in 1927, including degazetting, leases, subleases, assignments, and other transfer or disposition of any part of the lands in question, whether made by the Forestry Commission or any other person. In another letter addressed to New OWU royal family, this has become royal family, the minister has asked the family to submit to his office all subleases or assignments granted by the family to any person. The minister has also asked the Lands and Forestry Commission, as well as the New OWU royal family, to provide the names and addresses of all beneficiary owners, which is going beyond
the Lands Commissioner who is written.
Beneficial owners
is not the people who are on record.
No, not the people
who are
see
stated
when
as
Faso
Company Limited.
Company. That's what we are.
No.
The people behind the company.
So you are piercing the veil.
Piercing the veil. Okay.
Yeah.
The minister said they should submit, provide names and addresses of all beneficial owners of any part of the land acquired in 1927. This will enable the minister to take the appropriate actions in Achimota Forest. The Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources will continue to deal with this matter and all other matters affecting the lands and natural resources of the country transparently, with the highest standards of integrity, with the utmost good faith.
Notice the point we're asking. When the minister had issued the earlier statement and said that, Sir John owns no land, they said, no, but the lands have not been registered there in the first place. So the lands registry will not have the kind of detail we are asking for. So now he's fixing the problem.
Yeah.
He's going straight to the people who currently own the land. Who have you given land in Achimota to?
Almost everybody. Land Commission, Forestry Commission, OWU family.
But do you know that the earlier statement from the ministry suggested that even between the Lands Commission and the Forestry Commission, the forest itself, the entirety of the land we are talking about, was in doubt.
Yeah.
Because the last commission had done a verification of what the Forestry Commission had done before, and had come to a different figure from what the Forestry Commission had put out there. So it makes sense for an independent team to get all the documents from all the parties publicly known on this matter. I am interested in one part. The part that says all beneficiaries, everybody,
their names,
I am hoping that he gets all this.
No, but look, I need to stop and say something about the minister. Look, whatever you say about Abu Jinapor, the actions he's taking from the beginning of this to now shows that at least he's committed to getting to the heart of this.
I agree perfectly.
And there's a law you can hold him to.
I am one of those who had doubts about how he was dealing with this from the beginning, from his very first interview. But I think he has recovered so well.
Fantastically
and
well.
And he has actually moved in the direction that many people are asking for.
Yeah.
So this is the kind of satellite we wanted.
That's it.
Let it be known to the people who are occupying their lands.
Yes.
So that we can exonerate those who have been falsely accused. And those who are legitimately supposed to be held responsible.
Yes. So sometimes when a minister does a good job, you need to applaud him. So we do applaud Abu Jinapor for the decisions that he's taking. Let's read a few of his as we get out of here. Kudi Abogratius says, I think this is a wake-up call for the authorities to act fast and reclaim all lands belonging to the state. Ofori Monica says, good afternoon, sir. Please, have you people drawn your attention to the people who witnessed of Sir John's will? The current CEO and his deputy of the Forest Commission. They have questions to answer. They are aware of the acres of land. Papoose, good afternoon, is greeting us. Kofi Edu said, what was Sir John thinking when he willed the state lands to his family members? But the champion, the earth is the Lord. So, Joshua says, my sister was missing from last week, Saturday. Please help me. Okay, well, reach out. Let's see if we could get the police in charge. Well, Kojo Jansen is watching. Kojo. Depa says, please, is it an alleged will or a will? Well, right now, we haven't heard, so we're still operating with it being an alleged will, right? So, I mean, just to be cautious, as an abundance of caution. Depo says, please, it is claimed that there is no family called Owu, but it is for the Usustu. Well, that is one of the areas we don't want to get into because everybody else is claiming.
Yeah. If you leave it up, 15 families will come up with their own.
Yes.
But throughout our history, let's be clear, it has been this same Owu family that engage all the governments
all the government.
So that's the more reason why they have been the ones we are referencing all through.
Yeah. So that's the story on this, and thanks all of you for joining us on this. I mean, more on this development story with the minister's action tonight, going not only to the names on the papers, but to the beneficial owners. The beneficial owners. Watch this space.